she's on now. But whilst I'm waiting for her to come on, those who've been following Hangout Cafe for the last month, especially since after the break, since we got back, I'm sure you all know that we've been telling stories. People have been coming and sharing their story, but there have been stories that I want to believe have healed or healing people. And what I want to say to you this afternoon is, please tell your story, own your story, so that it is not told by another person. I remember reading in the papers a while ago, there was this gentleman who, something, well, I don't want to say something wrong with him, but there was something going on with him. And he found out that the papers, the tabloid papers, they were going to come out and tell the story. And his parents apparently didn't know about it. But somebody hinted him. So he decided to come out and tell his story. And he owned it. So he told his story the way he wanted it told. Not, the way the tabloid would tell the story and they'll put a bit of jara to it. So tell your story. And one thing, I was listening to a lady who was on Instagram Live yesterday. She was telling her story about what she'd been through. I think it was violence in domestic violence in marriage. But what I loved about it, thank you, Lillian. What I loved about it was that she wasn't telling the story as in gist. She was telling the story as in it was to educate you. Yes, so your story is your identity. It's always good to share. Yes, your story is your identity. And you're not a victim by telling your story. So tell your story. Yes, I was saying, okay, I got distracted a bit. So this lady was telling her story, but it wasn't a domestic violence victim. It wasn't a victim. It was about educating. Okay, Emma, please send me a request so I can bring you on. So yeah, tell your story. Tell it. There was something I posted the other day. I said, draw it, paint it, whatever it is, paint it, but make sure you tell your story the way you want it to be told. So yeah, okay, I think Emma's sending me a request now. So ladies, we are back. And gentlemen, I keep saying this, I'm so used to speaking to women. Every time I come out, hi Emma.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good, good, good.
You
I
look
like
so
your hair.
pretty.
Thank you. Oh, I have to tell you all this. The other day I spoke to Emma, I think it was the beginning of the week. And when we finished, she said, "Oh, Auntie, you're so cool." I was like, "Oh, Emma, you just made my day."
Oh,
So
good.
thank you. But you look very pretty yourself. I love the
Thank you.
hair. I love the glasses.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming. Thank you
Thanks for
so much.
having me. I
Thank
must
you.
say it's a really big pleasure to be here. I was really nervous. We did speak about it, like, oh my God, I'm not sure. But I'm really glad you thought about me and was like, no, bring me on, because it's nice to also bridge that gap between my generation and yours, and want to speak to each other more, learn from each other and all of
Yeah.
that. So I'm really grateful.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me tell actually we do this. I'm not sure if you know this, but before we start we always give hugs, virtual hugs. So
Oh,
I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a hug, Emma. So please give me a hug back. And people, can we make Emma feel welcome? This is her first time, so please,
yes,
I want to
guys.
see all the virtual hugs. Give her a hug. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, welcome to Hangout Cafe, Emma. I can see somebody saying, yes, you can see. Please give her loads. She said she was a bit
Oh,
nervous.
thank
So
you.
give her
I'm a
loads and
hugger.
loads of, and then show her some love. Let's show her some love also. Let's show her some love so that she'll feel comfortable and relaxed. Yes, thank you, Shadi. Thank you, Runke. Yes, thank you, Hadassah. See, they sent you loads of ones. It's a
Oh,
pleasure to have you, Emma.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys what happened one night. And those that know me know that I don't sleep early. Sometimes I'm awake till 3 a.m. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I wish I could say that I'm up every night praying at 3 a.m., but not so every night. Anyway, one night I think I was on YouTube, and I honestly can't remember how I stumbled on Emma's YouTube channel. And I watched one particular video, and by the time I finished, I think I actually cried a bit because her story so touched me. But as soon as I finished, I said, I've got to have her here. I've got to have her come on Hangout Cafe to share her story or her truth. Now, of course, I sent her a message on DM. It took a while, but anyway, later on she explained why it took a while for her to get back. But I'm glad that she's here with us. Now, no, she's not Pastor Bimbo's daughter. Someone said Pastor Bimbo's daughter.
No, ma'am.
But before I get her to share her story, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Emma? Because there are lots of people who don't know.
Yeah. I'm just an ordinary, normal Black girl living in Surrey. I studied interior design, spatial design, University of Bedfordshire. I am a presenter for Network on Ben. What else do I do? I'm also very active in my church. I'm head of events for my church, so I organize a ton of stuff. I'm a creative, now a content creator on YouTube. I also work for myself. So I used to work for an interior design company, but due to my health and other things, it just quite didn't work out. So I freelance. What else do I do? That's pretty much. I'm 28.
She's 28, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, Emma, okay, one thing I didn't mention, I've known Emma for a while now because through her mom. So I know about what she's going through. I don't want to say yet, but I wasn't close to her. I just knew her. Okay, yes, she's. I know her mom, so I know she's her mom's daughter. Anyway, this person's daughter. I don't want to mention your mom's name now. And but when I first started having a soft spot for you, Emma, was when you came on one of our training programs. I know you were first. Your mom actually got you to come.
Yes.
Can you remember?
Yeah.
She came on my mentor training program.
Yeah.
And I know she was a bit reluctant when she came, but I guess she loosened up when during the course of the thing. And she and another friend, they said they enjoyed it.
Yeah, guys, I really recommend that mentoring program. I learned so much. You know, when you don't expect to learn anything, it's like, oh, here we go, these aunties, my mom is forcing me. It's like, when you're like, what would I really gain? Yeah. But I learned so much, and then I started to realize that was actually who I am. I'm actually someone who people call and turn to for advice. Oh, Emma, this happened, what do you think? And I didn't quite realize that in a way I'm mentoring people. So it was actually good to kind of have some more training, so I'm not just like leading people astray or giving people the wrong advice. And then also I learned so much how to protect myself as someone who is constantly pouring out. I also need someone to pour out to, and that was something I struggled with. It's like I couldn't quite be open with other people, but honestly I absolutely loved it, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, I still got the book.
You still have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawa, I saw your I think yes, Shawa, you were on the same training with Emma. Okay, so let's go to your story.
Okay.
So Emma has what a lot of people what's called SS, sickle cell. I don't know, is it sickle cell disease?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Okay. And now again, because I know her mother, so I've known about this. But Emma, from the video you shared on YouTube, apparently a lot of your friends didn't know about this. So let's go back. Tell me, when did you first realize that you had sickle cell? When did it come to you? I mean, you must have been very young, but were you aware that there was something not quite right with you compared to other children?
Yeah, I think I can't pinpoint what age, but I just knew that throughout primary school, I was always in and out hospital. And I would always ask mom, like, why am I sick? Why am I sick? Why am I sick? And I think as well, my mom was born here, but went back, and my dad was born in Nigeria and then came here, lived here. They too were just as clueless. So when I'm asking them these questions, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I sick? It's like they didn't quite know what to say unless the doctor told them this is what's wrong with me.
Right.
So it was a bit of, I was confused a lot of the time. Like, I couldn't quite figure out, is it me? Is it not me? Did I catch something? Did I do something? So I would say I properly first, like when I sat down with consultants and they gave me, like, you know, all the scientific cool words and all of that jazz, was when I was maybe in year 7. Yeah, 7, year 8. So about 13 years old. And then I was like, oh, okay, like, dang.
Did they tell you it was a serious thing, or what exactly did they say to you?
They just said, you know, this is a life-threatening condition. You're going to live with it your whole life. There's no cure. Unfortunately, we could only manage your lifespan for as long as possible and make you as comfortable as we can. A lot of, well, back then as well, doctors will say stuff like, you know, I may not live long. And I'm just there like, so basically you're telling me I'm going to die.
So how does a 13-year-old process that?
I think I just was angry. I was quite an angry child. I'm not even gonna, let me be completely honest. I was always not always in trouble, but I was at some point getting into trouble. I was being naughty. I was always angry. If things didn't happen, I'd be mad. And then if I would go into hospital, I'm the worst. I used to be like the worst patient ever. So I think I just expressed it in my attitude and in my just being so angry and upset all the time. I was always upset
because you couldn't handle the fact that this thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever blame your parents?
Yeah, 100%. I was like, it took me a while to get there, but I remember one time I was in a crisis in the hospital, and then the cleaner was a Ghanaian man. And he was like, oh, Aji, you know, like how Ghanaians are you okay? Like, black people always want to be nice to each other. Oh, Aji, oh, darling, what's wrong? Oh, you're back again. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sick. And then one day he asked me, what's wrong with you? Why are you always here? And I told him I was sick. So he was like, oh, wicked parents, you know? Yeah, was like, yeah, wicked parents, like, this is what we're saying about us people. We can't just be having children anyhow. Oh, your parents should not have done this to you. Oh, this is all your fault. Now look at you now. Oh, Mobo, you're in pain. Oh, this, oh, that. And I'm just like, and then when he said all of that, obviously I'm sad, I'm in pain, like, oh, yeah. But when he left, I was like, it's true. And my parents, what did they do to me? And then from there, I hate them for like a very long time.
Wow. Okay, I don't know if everybody knows what I think you inherit a gene. No, I'm just trying to remember now. Can you explain it?
Yeah, so essentially your blood type and your genotype are two different things. Blood type is O or A positive, all of that stuff. That's for blood. But sickle cell falls under the category of it's more about your genes, so that your genetic blood group. So how it works is every black person is either AA, AS, or SS. So how people catch or how people get, because it's not something you catch. You can't catch. Is you take the S from your mum, S from your dad, and then you become sickle cell. Or some people, again, it's 1 in 4, so people know if you are AS, your partner's AS. If you have, well, it's the chances, the
1 in 4, I think.
Yeah, it's 1 in 4 that you can potentially have a sickle cell child. I see someone say SC. There's also something called SC, which is, I'm not going to lie, I don't know too much about it, but what I do know is they don't experience as much pain and so the crisis, but they have more blood. No, SC is still sickle cell, but it's a different form of sickle cell. So their main problem is they need to have blood like maybe every 4 weeks. They have to have blood. I don't have to have blood. I can just live on my painkillers and be normal. But it's a lot more, honestly, it's a bit more complicated, but it is still sickle cell, but it's a different form of sickle cell.
Okay. Yeah, actually, when I was reading up about it, they said there are different types, and I think you explained that some have to have more blood,
Yeah.
have blood transfusions as often as possible.
Yeah, they still experience pain though. So
Okay.
I don't want to like make anyone who has SC feel like, oh, we're less than, because there's a bit of a beef between SS and SC. It's like
Okay.
people think, oh, SC, they're fine, they're okay, and they're angry with us because it's like, no, just because you experience pain all the time doesn't mean we don't have issues. So they experience pain, but it's still never to the degree of what SS go through. SS is the worst.
Right. Okay. So tell me why now what you said, why when I was listening to that video, you said that a lot of your friends will be shocked that they didn't know that you had SS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us exactly what you said in that video.
So in the video, I can't remember word for word, but essentially, it took me forever in a life. The journey to putting out that video is a few years. So just know that this is a journey, a real life journey.
Okay.
But I said that all of my friends, so I'm naturally like really popular. I don't know, I'm just that person where I've got a lot of friends, guys, girls. I was always partying. I was always like being a slay mama. So you know when you're just that girl as well. And I never would tell people. I was always like scared and so on and so forth. So I did say in my video that a lot of people were shocked because they've known me for like well over 10 years and never knew what was wrong with me and why. Yeah.
So why did you decide not to tell? Why didn't your friend know? Because you went to uni, some of your friends at uni, they didn't even know you had why?
Yeah.
Why? Tell us.
Because there's a lot of stigma and a lot of shame that is in like it's all tied in with sickle cell. Like sickle cell is more than just pain, and people just they're pain. You just got to be careful. Don't let them be too hot. Don't let them be too cold, and they're good.
Right.
But it's more than that. And coming from an African household, I'm Nigerian.
Right.
Africans love to install the fear of God, Satan, and the whole world in you. And so they instill so much fear, like, who will marry you? We have to be careful, this, that, like, don't let anybody know. They're gonna treat you this way, they're gonna like there's just so much fear, and there's this element of being pitied and it's like, you know how cancer patients, like before it was such a everyone's sensitive, people don't know what to say, and then at a point the narrative changed and it was like cancer patients didn't want to just be pitied and felt sorry for, like they wanted to live normal lives. They want to do bungee jumping, they want to do everything they can do before they die, if they do die, or whatever. Like just because they experience something doesn't mean the whole world should now change towards them. And in a way it makes you feel less than if every time someone's around me, oh, Emma, no, let me get your cup for you. Oh no, Emma, let me do this. No, don't touch her. No, be careful. No, don't. It's too windy. No, wind up. Like all of that just makes me feel nervous. Like, oh my God, like, am I gonna die? Like it's so overwhelming. Right. And so I think with all of that being said, and predominantly my friends are Black, African, or Caribbean, but Caribbeans, they know, but they're very different. They're kind of like white people, they can love someone on their dying day and marry them a week before, and it's like, it's all good. But Black people, no, not in my family. I don't want to bring that witchcraft, whatever's doing you, all of that extra stuff. So I just was so scared to share it with my friends. And also, when you're in secondary school and uni, no one can keep their mouth shut. Everyone's a gossip. Everybody's talking someone's business. Everybody's getting exposed. Everyone's life will be outside. So there was this element of, I didn't want my secret, being poured out.
So how did you manage to conceal it for such a long time?
I just, honestly, when I look back, I was just a liar. I would just lie. Like, let's say we have uni. So a good example would be, I'm in uni for about a week and a half, and then let's say a party was going on. I'll be there at the party having fun. Everyone's seeing me dancing. Then the following day, I'm ghost. Like, you're not seeing me for another 2 weeks. And of course, people message like, Emma, where are you? Are you okay? Are you not in uni? Maybe you're still like hangover from the party or something.
Yeah.
Something very stupid. And I'll just be like, oh no, you know, I'm just having a headache. I don't know what's wrong with me, or I'm having period pains, everyday period pains. If it's not period pains, I'm having chest pains. I think I've got a cough. I think I've got a cold. And obviously Luton as well is very cold, and London generally is very cold. So you could always hide behind the flu. You could always hide behind like anything. So I was just literally like just lying to people.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I feel really bad doing that, but I was just so ashamed.
So what made you decide to come out and make that video?
Well, that story is very long, but just to sum it all up, what finally, so I've been wanting to be on YouTube for a few years, since about 2015, but was constantly living in fear. Like, the fear is such a power. It's so, people underestimate fear. Like, people feel, oh yeah, like you're afraid, but you could overcome it. Like, sometimes it can take years of, in a way, deliverance or therapy to overcome. And it all, honestly, my faith is what has brought me this far, because if I could have done it by myself, I would have done it all by myself. I actually wouldn't be here, because naturally I am quite confident. People see me as fun and outspoken. I speak my mind. Like, I don't hold back. But because of the fear that's attached to it, and just that whole, will I die? What will people think of me? Da 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 da. I just kept hiding behind it. So it all kind of started when I moved churches. And my pastor, God bless him, literally did a lot of work in terms of like breaking all types of fear that I've been having, all types of limitations that I've put on myself. And there's this element of another big reason, actually, I just remembered, is the fact that sickle cell always disrupts your life. Like, I've never been able to be consistent. I had to do 3 years in college. I had to do 4 years in uni. Everything I've ever wanted to do, I've had to do it even twice the time, or for some reason it just took longer than expected. So because of that, I'm big on, if I start something, I have to finish. Like, I don't do anything half-hearted. So I didn't want to start something and then I'm in hospital and then there's a lot of, like, it does mess on your mind. Like, mentally it can weigh you down. Just the fact that I've planned a holiday, I've bought my ticket, I'm traveling to Spain a couple of days before, I'm in a lot of pain, I get rushed to the hospital. Not only the money, the time, the fun, the everything I've planned for, how it can psychologically like affect me. Just like all of these limitations pretty much is what kind of held me back.
Okay, but with the help of your pastor and your faith.
Yeah, with the help of my pastor, and just saying that I rather, you know, that it's kind of cliche, like, rather die trying and than not to try. And so I was like, okay, let me try. Last, it doesn't work. People will have to understand that, okay, well, she's too ill to kind of do it. So I thought, let me really, really, really try and really like beg God. And another thing that really helped was it just was a season where that whole year I was getting prophetic words from here, there, like out of nowhere. Different people would speak into my life, and there's this element of when God endorses something, you have more confidence that it's gonna work. I'll be fine and it will be good. So I think I needed that, God like speaking through people and getting all these prophetic words that I've called you to be an influencer. I've called you to be a blogger, a vlogger, and all these things, and be a deliverer and help people and do some work in the health sector. That was okay. It's more than me. You know, people want to live for purpose and live beyond themselves. So I think there was just that. Okay, I can do more, and I can actually help people, and because I'm naturally a giving person, so I don't want to just do things for me. So just knowing that God was just speaking a lot over me, and literally I had to go through like a bit of inner healing, and then that's when I finally.
So what was the reaction from your friends when you told your story?
So, oh my God, I got called a liar. Like, Emma, you're mad. Emma, you're mad. So these times, because obviously, imagine, and most Black people kind of have a rough idea of what sickle is. It's like, that either they don't live long, or they're always sick, or they're always in pain. Imagine I'm out like partying, Emma, go home. You know how people, because I have a lot of older friends, and even in uni, Emma, what are you doing, man? Go home. Go back home. So there's that, for people like to protect you, which is lovely. Don't get me wrong, it's lovely, but don't be disgracing me outside. I'm here trying to have fun, and you're telling me go home. You shouldn't be here. Da 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 da. So I think everyone was like, Emma, if I knew, I would never have let you out, and if I knew, I would have been able to support you and help you. To be fair, the feedback has been amazing. Like, nothing negative. Only a few people have said things like, I wish you told me, like, how can I have been your friend for so long and not know? And there's that. And I can understand if I was someone's, like, I wouldn't say my close friends, because my close friends, I lived with them. So you saw the ambulance come and go.
Okay, so they knew.
Yeah, I had no choice. I had no choice, yeah.
Okay.
I had no choice. But everyone else around me was just very like, oh, wow. And some people just haven't said anything. They just like it. And I know they know that they've asked me multiple times, like, where have you been? Why haven't you been in uni? Why are you not in college? And yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I remember when I spoke to you, you said some people still haven't said anything. I don't know, is it because they don't know what to say and they're just keeping their mouth shut? But you said you rather if they said something.
Yeah, I rather they did, like, just something like, oh, Emma, even if it's just, I wish I knew, it's good enough. And that's fair. Like, I wish I too would have told you. And maybe if they would start that conversation, I wouldn't be able to explain a bit more as to why I didn't tell them. But to just see it and ignore it, or just like it, when we were actually, like, I can say not everyone's obviously really close to me, but if I kind of consider you a friend, then I'm someone that I will probably be there for you at some point, will speak to you, would call you, we might hang up. So it's more than just hello, bye. You know what I mean? I'm talking about people who I've actually interacted with longer than that. And so it is a little bit hurtful, but it's okay. I guess they don't want to talk about it, or maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I guess sometimes people don't know what to say. It's just like the same thing when somebody has cancer or somebody died. People don't know what to say. But I guess your message to anyone out there is just say something, even if it's, oh, I wish I'd known, or just something. But ignoring it is not the answer, right?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think it kind of does hurt. So I'm now like, I don't know if they still want to be my not my friend like that, but I don't know if they still want to talk to me. If I ever see them in public, would it be awkward? Would it be weird? Because it's like, this is the biggest secret of my life. Like, I'm an open book, and this is something that is so dear to my heart that how can you not? But you once considered me a friend.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why. Interesting. But you know what I still don't understand is this thing about stigma. First of all, it has nothing to do with you, but there's still that stigma in society about someone who has sickle cell.
Yeah.
I honestly don't understand it. And so you tell me, I know one of the things you said was about people thinking it's contagious. People thinking you can catch it just by coming near Emma, you can catch it. Well, it's not, is it?
It's not. Someone said Nigerian stigma. Honestly, if Caribbean people are not like this, they're not. They don't. It's not that much of a big deal. Obviously, it's sad but I don't know what's wrong with Africans. I'm sorry. I just don't know what it is. I think because Africans are highly spiritual people, I think they turn everything spiritual, and everything is inherited and generational. And like, it's never just like normal on a normal surface. And I don't know why, but I've heard some wild. So she's one of my cousins, and I wish, in a way, I wish she didn't tell me this, because it really, till today, actually taunts me. But we were young, I was in secondary school, and we used to share a bed, and she was dating some guy, before she came to London, she was dating some guy in Nigeria, and they were going out for years, let's say 3 years. And then when he was ready to get serious, I was like, okay, let me introduce you to my family, yada, yada, yada. True life story, you know. Anyway, so he finally brought her to his family's house to meet her and
Right.
everything. And obviously they were like, oh yeah, we love you. And at the time, like her dad as well was really rich, like he was well to do and everything. So this is now not even about class. Like she was a village girl. They brought her from Surulere. No, like she was really good.
Okay.
Anyway, they found, I think, I don't know how the conversation came up. Maybe he told them that, listen, like, you know, she does have sickle cell. And she said instantly, they said, where? In what family? Get out. Like they literally walked her out of the house. Like she said, she cried
Wow.
her whole, like they didn't even try and be like, oh, no worries. And then maybe later on told him, you're not going to marry her. They'd say, get up, get
That,
out. We
are you
don't want that in our
serious?
family, in our house. Like we cover this house with the blood. She said they started moving mad. They like, as
Wow.
if to say, like she was the devil himself, and walked him out. That he tried to obviously make things work because obviously he loved her. They've been going out for years.
But he knew she had sickle cell.
Yeah, he knew, he
Okay.
was there for her. Like,
Okay.
yeah, 100%. But I guess the pressure of his family on him
Mm.
was so sad that he unfortunately he broke up with her and things didn't work out. And so yeah, she told me that, and I was like, oh my God, is that going to happen to me? And
Mm.
again, like a lot of people from Africa, when they do come to Europe, they still bring that same mentality. They're not quite willing to change and change like how they think and be like, okay, this is a new environment, this is a different society, let's be a bit more Western. Obviously
Yeah.
I'm all for the culture. I believe strongly in like knowing where you're from and sticking to our African roots, but there are some, I believe that not all culture is good culture, and I don't believe that that's a good culture to keep, that every person who has diabetes or has had cancer before is now going to run in your family,
Mm.
or
Mm.
like. And another thing that they said to her was she won't, that she's not a woman, that how can she have children, how can she look after our son, how will she be able to cook for him and do motherly and household things, basically calling her inadequate as a whole woman, and as how she will be as a wife and as a mother. And that just really stuck with me. And so there was that extra, okay, I can't even tell guys, like I can't, if I'm
Mm.
dating anyone, I have to pretend I'll be fully lying to guys,
Mm.
like, because it just, Africans, I don't know, maybe
Wait,
you might be able to share a bit more, but I
well,
do remember my mum. Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
interesting. I just saw somebody, Dr. Zion, put that management of SSD is so advanced these days. Our life expectancy is really good. And I know
Yeah,
someone who is actually on this platform who has SSD too, but she's
yeah,
married. She's had, she
yeah,
has a son. So
yeah,
I really don't get it. Yes,
yeah,
maybe there's a bit more care, but that doesn't mean that you cannot
yeah.
live a full life. So
But I think because I do feel though that someone with SS in UK is completely different to someone with SS in Africa. If we're being honest, the healthcare system
okay,
and
okay,
everything else, the support, it is completely different. As much as they do live full lives, and I do know it's all well and good,
yeah,
they probably have to have money to back up that lifestyle as well to be able to live so long. And I would say back then when I mean, I'm not that old, but let's say 28 years ago, a
yes.
lot of the our parents' generation was still like, oh, well, in Africa, people who do have sickle cell only live to 20. In Nigeria, back then, someone correct me if I was wrong, but my mom told me that back then they don't live past 18 to 21. And
Okay.
so it's like, who wants their son or daughter to marry someone that could potentially die in a couple of years, and then they're called a widow, and now did they kill their spouse and all that rubbish that they do.
Mm.
So I guess it's different. In UK we can live up to 100 if God willing,
Yeah.
but I think it's still a little bit different in Africa, so that's why I can understand maybe 10%.
Wow. Okay, guys, if you've got any questions for Emma, please put it in the question box so she can answer. The other thing I want to ask you, or the next thing I want to ask you, Emma, is, oh yes, I remember now. This morning when I got up and I was brushing my teeth, a thought just crossed my mind that, all the times that you had pains and, with the shame, so to speak, and that stigma that you felt, did you ever think about committing suicide?
Um, no, no, I was not that. No, I didn't think about committing suicide,
Okay.
but there were definitely times when I'm in that hospital bed and I just want to give up, and I'm like, God, take me now. Like, I'm just like, God, I'm done. Like, what is worth
Was
it?
that because of the pain?
Yeah, because of the pain,
Okay.
because you're not going to see past that's what you're going through, because you know that once I'm better,
Yeah.
3 months time you're back here again. So
Mm.
it's kind of like your life is to live in hospital, or your life is to experience pain. When are you happy? When are
Mm.
you free? When do you get to enjoy life? When do you get to do the silly things? When do you get to have a career?
Right.
When are you able to, there is just that you can't gauge. And as much as they say, drink lots of water, take penicillin, da 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 da. There's there's so many methods that people have come up with in terms of how to reduce a crisis, or how to not experience it. But you still, that it's not guaranteed. Like, I've done everything in the book.
Right.
I got to a point where sorry, I had done everything the doctors had told me. I was faithful with my medicine. I was faithful with, wore a scarf. I made sure I doubled up. I'll be wearing like not three, that's an exaggeration, but like 2 jeans. I'd be doing the most, and I was still sick. So I said, so what's the point? What is the point? So I would just say that, sorry, I went a bit off a bit,
No,
but
that's fine.
yeah, I just feel like, as much as sorry, I've actually lost my train of thought now.
Yeah. Someone just said a family friend of ours is 65 with a family and has lived in Sierra Leone. So someone's lived up to 65.
Yeah.
But the way I remember reading about it, and someone said that the pain is like when someone puts a knife in you and twist it. Is that
Yeah,
wow?
that is true. And actually, they did a pain test. They did a pain study. Sorry, they
Right.
did a pain study in UK, and was testing out, like, because I think back in the days, again, I don't want to play that race card, but it's a real thing in hospitals. They look at black patients as we're faking it, we're pretending, we're exaggerating,
Really?
but all the, yes, you'll see
Wow.
someone who's coming with minor stomach pains. They're giving them codeine and all sorts, and making them comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm there screaming my whole life away, and I've been left for like 18 hours with no pain. 18 hours. The longest
Whoa.
I've ever been in was 26 hours of no pain relief. It was so bad, I literally almost died. They had to rush me into theatre because they couldn't get any IV access to give me, like, it. They do it a lot to black people, so there's always that. And unfortunately, black on black is a real thing. When the
Yeah.
black nurses see me,
Yeah.
oh, quick, keep quiet, it's okay, da 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 da. It's like that they just treat me in some way. And again, they see a young girl, they
Yeah.
feel like they could talk to me anyhow. But
Mm.
when it's a white girl and they're effing and blinding them,
Yeah.
they take it. But if I was to speak my mouth, open my mouth, I will call your mother now. Eh? You got to talk, you got to wait. The doctor is coming. Don't stop crying. You're making noise. Other patients are trying to sleep. You're being a nuisance. I'm like, do you know what I am going through? Anyway, back to my point. They did do a pain study, and it turns out that a sickle cell crisis is more painful than childbirth. Like,
Wow.
that's what the stats. So I don't know how they measured it. I don't know if they, I don't know how, but that was what was, that was the result. So it's not just like someone stabbing you. It's literally a 24/7. Your whole body is
Mm.
just constantly vibrating.
Since the younger, since a few years ago, is the treatment of a patient with SS, has it improved now?
It has improved, I will
Okay.
not lie, it has improved. But again, I think because I now live in Surrey,
Yeah.
is better. But when
Okay.
I was living in Croydon, and Croydon is highly populated with black people,
Okay.
though you have more black nurses. The moment I see a black nurse, I don't want you near me. I've had to move mad. Like, I've had to be like, I don't want, like, I have to literally start shouting, like, I no longer want you to be my carer. I do not trust you. I do not trust my life. I don't believe that you are here to look after
To
me.
me,
I
yeah.
say like my life is in danger. I have to, because if I don't speak like that,
Mm.
they just, they know that my medicine's due at 8 o'clock.
Right.
They be coming at 8:45.
Okay.
You know, all these little things that you're prolonging my recovery. You're making me suffer longer than I should have to. So because I live in Surrey, yes, some white nurses and doctors are racist and they will treat you in ways, but I honestly I feel safer with a white doctor nurse than I do with a black,
That's interesting.
unfortunately.
I'm going to. I would love to have a nurse, a black nurse, come and talk about this, because
Yeah,
this is so shameful, though. This is really shameful. But
yeah.
someone asked the question: did you ever hide, or have you ever hidden a crisis from your parents?
Oh, all the time. Let's say were meant to travel somewhere. So I'll never forget. You know, in year 6, you have this like for a week you go away.
Yes.
Like you do like climbing mountains, like you know all that adventure stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom could feel it because when I start to get pain, I start hunching and my voice starts to shake, and it was so bad. But they somehow managed to pick it up that I'm a bit ill, and I was lying, I was pretending, I was like, I'm good. I'll now be pretending to dance because then I like to dance. I'll be like, okay, if I dance for you, then you'll know that I'm not in pain. So I'll dance, do little things. And it got too much, and I was actually supposed to go in, and I just remember my mom was like, you're not going. The way I sat up, I was like, no, I'm okay. I started taking sometimes it's not good, but sometimes we overdose because we're trying to get ahead of
Ahead.
the
Right.
pain. So I started like ODing on everything and just pretending like I'm good. But yes, I have pretended to my parents so many times.
So how many tablets do you take a day?
Oh, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, more than
About
8.
Yeah, about 8 as my standards. And then if I'm starting to feel pains, then I'll take my codeine, maybe pregabalin. Oh no, 8, no 9. I take 9 tablets every day, and then I have to add more stuff on in between. So there's some medicines. It's like every 4 hours, every
Yeah.
6 hours, every 12 hours.
Wow. I know that I was reading up that there's what do they call it? Bone marrow transplant or stem transplant. Is this
Mm-hmm.
something that you considered or that's been offered to
So
you?
the
I don't
thing
think they
with
do it
that
here
is
now.
they do it now, but there was a whole petition going around. It's only free for people who are under 12 years old.
Oh, really?
So everyone was like fuming and angry, and the whole community was like, we don't understand why you would do it why it's okay for under 12s, but once you're over, yeah, is it either 12 or 16? Maybe it's 16, something like that. But once you're an adult, it's not free under the NHS.
Okay.
And so,
But if it was free, and if you had the money, is it something you'll consider doing?
do you know what? I've thought about it, but that process is long. They basically almost kill you. Like you're on the verge of dying
Okay.
because they're trying to flush out like everything. And I actually know, so one of my aunties, her son went on the bone marrow, and her son, and let's just say another girl who just happened to be in the same ward in Royal Marsden, they got to be friends as a family, just connecting due to the same situation.
Right.
This her son and this family daughter had the bone marrow, and unfortunately she passed away, and so she didn't make it. Luckily my auntie's son made it, but people still die in that transition, and I do
Really?
partly understand why, because the older you get the harder it is.
Okay.
And so at 28, 30 something, you now want to have a bone marrow, the chances become slimmer and slimmer. But when you're a child, I don't know what it's called, it's able to mutate, I guess, like I don't
Your
know.
body can.
Yeah,
I don't know the
I
word.
don't know. I
Yes.
don't know the right words, but you're like, yeah, you'll be all right. So, if I would I do it? I don't know. I would. I would heavily consider it, but then the journey for it, you're gonna lose all your hair. Like it's a lot. It's really a lot. It's not an operation. If it's an operation, sign me up tomorrow.
Okay. I know one of the things you said to me was that because of this thing, because of SSD, you've not been able to hold down a job, as
Mm.
in you've because you keep having crisis. Sometimes you said you've passed out at the office. So tell us a bit more about that.
So my parents have always said, you know, you can't work. You have to work from home. Like whatever you do, let your job be from your house and stuff. And because I'm quite like, you know, strong and independent, when I got to uni, I was like, no, I want to work. All my friends have been working doing retail and all of that. I want to give it a go. So my most embarrassing moment or story is that I was working for M&S.
Yeah.
Obviously I declared my health, but you know these white people, yeah, sure, not a problem. They can't now refuse you from the job, but they know. They was like, yeah, sure, no worries, just let us know when you can't work that day. So they were happy with it. I was working, like everything was fine. And one day, when I told you it, I don't literally, it was a second. So I was literally scanning someone like, oh, welcome to M&S, did you get everything you need, yada yada yada. Then as soon as like the person finished paying, it's like someone just went boom, and I literally felt myself go like that, and I was like, whoa. So I sat up like, okay, like that's weird. Within 5 minutes, it went from 0 to like a million. I was screaming. I
Wow.
dropped. I was on the floor. All the white people were like, what do
What's
we
going
do?
on?
Like they didn't know what to do. They were looking for emergency. Like the manager, like the maybe I don't know if like the regional manager was in that day, but one of like the high managers were in. They had to rush down and they had to carry me into the changing room. Imagine my whole arm and leg dragging. Like it was so embarrassing. Anyway, they called my mom. They called the ambulance, and unfortunately there was no back door. It was like the only way out was through the shop and through the whole
Wow.
shopping center. So I
Wow.
literally got dragged through. And again, this is Luton. Nobody knows my health condition. Anyone could be, people are laughing. Any of my friends could just be on their lunch break in the mall
And
and
they would
just
have
see
seen you.
Emma on the shop floor, like, what's wrong with it? Slim, because I go by Slim Ting Emma. Yo, is that Slim Ting on the stretcher? Like, just anybody could have seen me. I thought I wanted to die. I was ready to die. I was like, God, take me
So
now.
wait, tell me, hold on, Emma. When you were going through that pain, you were thinking about people that might see you.
Yeah, that was the number one. That was the only thing that was crossing my mind. God, don't disgrace me. Don't let anybody see. If anybody sees me, my career, my human, me as a
Your
person,
reputation.
my reputation is done in this university.
Oh my
But I
God.
don't know. As God will have it. If someone saw me, they would have been like, yo, that's Slimton, what's she doing? Like, Emma, you okay? Did you OD? Like, you know, there's these certain jokes that people do in Luton. So I got dragged on the whole out the shop and on the whole mall out. And I had Entonox. Entonox is that thing they give for people who are giving birth. You know, that gas and air.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on the gas in there like, mommy, I was moving mad. I was moving like a crazy person. I was doing, no, I'm sorry, M&S. That's what I kept saying. Sorry, M&S. M&S, I'm so sorry. M&S. I just was like, sorry, customers. I was like, I'm someone that I don't like inconveniencing people. So I felt like I just inconvenienced the whole shop, the whole everything. And so, yeah, that was my worst moment. I got dragged on the shop floor. The following week, they just said, Emanuela, you do not have to return. I basically lost my job. It was just a mess. So,
Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes more. I remember when I asked you, I said, what will be your message? And you were the one that actually came up with fear, freedom versus fear. Remember?
yeah.
So just tell us this message. For anyone listening, for anyone who has SSD, or someone who maybe protect their daughter-in-law to be, tell us, just give us your message, Emma.
My message would be, it's not a life sentence. I'll start with this. And you know what? This is for anyone who has any health condition,
Right.
that whether it has a cure or not has a cure, it is not a life sentence. As much as it's a lot on your body, it's a lot on your mind, it's a lot on your whole soul. And again, like being someone of faith, that's even a whole nother conversation. Like, how do you believe that you're healed and God loves you?
Yes, that's
But you're,
actually, yeah. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
oh my
Because
God,
I
okay.
know that her mom is a pastor, her father is a pastor, And I can imagine people saying, oh, you're not praying enough. You know, maybe there's something they're not doing. Is there village people that's doing them? So yes, how has that also impacted your message or your journey rather?
I would say it definitely, do you know what? I think people with health conditions learn to trust God more than anybody else. I'm so sorry. I might be a bit biased or whatever, but I personally, this is my first opinion, because to know that you are technically healed and Jesus died for every pain, every all our sins, and for every health condition. Jesus even took an extra whooping for any other possible sickness that there is.
Yeah.
But yes, this is your reality. You're in and out, in and out, but you're meant to live and believe in a God, one that we all can't see. We've all, you know, obviously, unless you've had an encounter with God, then it's completely different. But at the time, I never really had that encounter. I was just doing God because my parents like forced me to do God.
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh, don't worry, God is going to heal you. Okay, when? It's not even about if, it's about when. How long is this so-called suffering? They'll quote scriptures like, oh, in your suffering, thank God. Paul talks about in your this, in your weakness, you're strong, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, that's all well and good. Like, I understand, but it's
Right
hard
now.
to see. Pardon?
I said, but you're right now, you're saying right now I'm still in pain.
Yeah, I'm still in pain. You can't tell me what I'm not feeling, because this is what's speaking louder to me than God's voice. But I had to learn to trust God that, again, all things work together and that God has a plan and a purpose. I would never have thought I would be this person talking to you. I was so ashamed. If someone even said, "Sir," I start crying. Like, I would be crying my whole life out. I have pushed people away. I had no love in my heart, because it's like, if God loves me and I'm actually not a bad person, and I mean, I'm not perfect, but I try to be as decent as I can to everybody and stuff. But yeah, I still go through this, whether I take my medicine or not. Then how can I believe in this God? Like, it's hard to comprehend. But as I said, like, in my whole journey and transitioning and really taking my faith seriously. Now, I'm not saying like the reason why you're going through certain things in your health is because you're not taking God seriously, but there is a level that you must get to and really press in. And I thought I was doing everything right. I go to church on Sunday, my parents are pastors, I'll read the odd, like, you know, proverbs, I'm a good person, the whole love your neighbor. I don't, I'm not lying, I'm not stealing, I'm not killing, I'm not doing what's it called, living in adultery. You think, yeah, if so long as I'm obeying the commandments and doing certain things, then you're good. But truly being intentional with your walk with God and having a relationship, I think I was in a way religious, so I was doing God things, but I never had a relationship with him. And the moment I had a relationship with him, everything changed. So that's just even to all the Christians who are out there. Like, you can do, and we say this all the time, so people know that, oh yeah, going to church on a Sunday doesn't make you a Christian. But when you, in your mind, you think you're going the extra mile by loving your neighbor, being kind, not obeying the 10 commandments, reading the odd Bible, you pray, that's enough. It's sacrifice. And trust me, I never understood till I started what it really means. And so to go back to my message, so that's just for anyone who has a health condition. Just believe that, again, it is for a reason. And I do believe that maybe the reason why God made me have sickle cell was because I will help other young people with the condition. And I would have never thought that, because I'm like, did I kill Jesus Christ? Why is it me that has to be doing this stuff? I was very, very like angry. Like, out of everybody in this world, it was me you looked at on. But in a way, you're special. The fact that you've been chosen, to carry such a burden or to carry such a cross, there's such a reward. And I would say, like, even though I've been through everything, I must say, wow, I don't know how I'm getting emotional. Got to pull that back. God has, I must say, like, God has been like really, really good to me. Even though I have hated God, I have wanted to die. I've never once thought about committing suicide, but I thought, I'm not going to take my medicine. I'm going to live recklessly, and whatever happens is whatever happens. Like, God, that's your business. Like, if I die, it's because you allow me to die. But I had to get to a point where look back and be like, no, even when I was moving like so crazy and I was just doing my own thing, God like still pretty much kept me and brought me up until this point. So I would say always choose freedom, because there's so much that comes with it. I now can not be afraid that if I die or if I'm in hospital, what will happen? I live alone. So it's hard when you live alone, you pay your own bills, you have to look after yourself. And I'm wondering, where will things come from, or how would I navigate through different circumstances? But I chose, again, freedom is a choice. We know this, we say this all the time, but we don't quite see it. And with freedom comes great responsibility. So there is that element of, I have to be extra careful, I have to be more intentional, I just have to do more things. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't take it all back. So that would be my,
Oh, Emma, you've been, and everybody, look, I don't know if you've been reading the comments. You're such an inspiration. You are special. And honestly, you know, when I spoke to you regarding this, I just fell in love with you. I'm like, oh my God, I just love this girl. You are so special, and you're such an inspiration. And I really want to believe that this is going to set somebody free, because there might be someone who has a child, or they might not even be live now, but this video might go to someone else, but someone will be set free. And people, you know, I keep saying this, we are the ones that should start to make the difference. You know, SSD should not carry a stigma. Cancer should not carry a stigma. You know, your rape victim, it should not be a stigma, because it's got nothing to do with you. It's not your fault. But then it's society that makes us think that, oh, it's your fault. You have SSD, so you can't marry. Of course you're going to get married, Emma. Do you have a boyfriend, by the way?
No, I don't.
I just thought to ask. But she's so pretty, isn't she, Lindsay? She is so pretty. You know, I know you're going to get married. And by God's grace, you're going to also have children. You know, and God will satisfy you with long life. That's my prayer for you. God will satisfy you with long life and in good health. They say they don't have a kid, but you will live with this and live well in Jesus' name.
Amen.
You know, Emma, God is going to take you to places that you haven't even imagined. Honestly, you're going to be such an inspiration. God is giving you a relevant voice in your generation. Your message is going to set people free. I really believe that. Just keep, you know, don't let anyone silence your voice. Just keep speaking. Just keep doing what is calling you, what God is calling you to do. And God is going to He set you free already. But through you, He's going to set other people free. So thank you. We got 9 seconds. Thank you so much, Emma. I really do appreciate you coming here to share your story. So let's give her a good, let's hug